curious, how old are your kids that are making their own decision on getting the vaccine or not? Would really love some parents to call in right now, 1-855-BERT Show. Because we got this tweet, and it's super, super short, but I have noticed kind of a reoccurring theme that I'll get into here in a second also. It said, my daughter is 13 and really doesn't want to get the COVID vaccination. She's due next week for her last vaccination. Is it unethical for me to ask the doctor to give her both and not tell her?
The not telling her part, yes. That would be, I feel, unethical for your child. I do feel as a parent, you need to make medical decisions for your children. I also feel like you also need to hear your children out, and there should be somewhat mutual respect there. So I think sitting down with your 13-year-old and be like, okay, you don't want to get this. Can you explain to me why?
Mm-hmm.
And have them present to you their reasoning behind not wanting to get the vaccination. And then you presenting your side and be like, this is why I want you to get the vaccination. And then ultimately it is the parent's decision to decide what is medically responsible and right for the child.
All right, parents, how have you handled this? Like, has your kid come to you and said, look, I want it, and you're against it? That can go both ways also,
both ways,
right?
For sure.
So how have you handled that? 1-855-BERT Show. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I think, Kristen, I mean, you nailed it. You want to talk to them about it, and they want to feel empowered. But at 13 years old, they're 13. They're 13. That is the responsibility of a parent. Now, there's a lot of cases where you got two parents in the house that feel very differently about it. So you might have a
That's
kid
a whole other bag of wax,
sort of torn between both. So what would you do if you have a 13-year-old, 14-year-old in the house?
Having never been a parent, but having been a child, I would feel like at that age, I would have probably wanted to make my own decision, but not had the information I needed to make it. So I would say ultimately it should come down to the parent. I think you should hear your kid out, obviously, and see their reasonings. But ultimately, I think you should make that decision for your kid.
Christina, good morning. You are part of the Bert Show, 13 years old, and she's wondering if it's unethical to just go ahead, tell the doctor to give her both vaccines. She only thinks she's getting one, but get them both.
No, it's way wrong. You have to be open with your kids, especially about vaccines. You have to be real. You know, I'm a mother of 6. We had an in-depth conversation with all 6 of our children, including my oldest fiance, who hates shots. And because we have a medically frail child, they all decided that to protect their brother, they have to do it.
Okay, I gotcha. And how old are we talking about here?
We span from the ages of 9 up to 25.
Okay. I appreciate you calling. So there's, as I'm reading more into this tweet, some of it doesn't make any sense to me. She's due next week for her last vaccination. Is it unethical for me to ask the doctor to give her both?
Yeah, that's what
and not tell her?
Other vaccinations. Like as you're a kid, you go in and you get your immunizations and vaccinations and things like that. But she was just going to throw the COVID vaccine on top of her other immunizations.
Got it. As the second one. She's already apparently got the first one?
No, she hasn't got the first COVID vaccine. These are other vaccines.
She's due next week for her last vaccination.
Other types of
other
vaccinations.
vaccines?
Yeah.
Okay, you read more into that than I am. Hey, Keely, good morning. You're on the Bert Show.
I just know my child, every time we go to the doctor.
Not.
Yeah, sorry. So like Jimmy, he's 5 months now. We have chosen in our house to do vaccinations. So every appointment, like at his 3-month appointment, he gets a certain amount of shots. And at the next appointment, he gets another amount of shots. So as your kid gets older, they continue to get immunizations. So I'm thinking she's like, let's throw the COVID up in this mix as well.
Now, later on, like maybe tomorrow, we'll get more into this. But I got another question for you guys because I know a dude firsthand that is bringing his son to college for the first time. I swear to you, this is not me. It really is not. And they're still together. The couple is still together. The mom and dad are still together. The mom is super against getting the vaccine. He is for the vaccine. Mom didn't want to get the child vaccinated, but dad took her to get vaccinated before she went to college. And where she is going, her college campus doesn't require it. So mom has no idea that she got the vaccine and dad endorsed it.
Well, I'm assuming if she's going to college, though, she 18?
I'm guessing she's 18.
Well, then you're an adult, so you don't have to.
Yeah, but mom has no idea, and she's super against it.
Yeah, that's.
Mom should know.
Yeah.
Blake, good morning. You're on the Bert Show.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
So I think that she should sit down and have a conversation. My sister is 14, and she sat down with my parents and was like, hey, look, this is why I don't want to. And my parents were like, okay, that's fine. You gave us valid points and reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
But with them being a teenager, they could change their mind by then. Be like, okay, I want to go ahead and get it. And it's not like the vaccine's running out. Like, there's plenty of it. If she changes her mind, and she can take her back.
Yeah, based on some of the tweets that I've received the last couple of weeks, I think 14-year-olds know more about the vaccine and COVID than the adults do. So I'm running with the 14-year-old
I know
now.
you're joking.
Am I?
Yeah.
The Bert Show.